Korey Banks joining us today on video chat. I went through his football resume a little earlier on, so everybody knows what he is. '06 to 2013 is what I consider Korey Banks is a BC Lion. And he checks in today. He's got a toque on, so he must be somewhere cold. G'day, Korey. How are you?
How you doing? I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Where are you joining us from today, Korey?
I'm in Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah. So it's not that cold down there. By the way, there's somebody here that you know by the name of Mike Abu-Meshrik. Abu, do you want to renew acquaintances with Korey Banks before we go any further?
I was gonna say they wouldn't remember. I got hurt the week before you showed up in Ottawa, and I was just telling the story. I don't know if you remember. You showed up to Ottawa. I guess the plane landed late. You just ran out onto the field and then started MFing everyone. Ben Dross, Pow Pow. You didn't know who Pow Pow was, and he had to tell you who he was right quick. But ever since that day, I've been a huge fan. So thanks for doing what you do and making it fun.
I appreciate it. I mean, I was a little immature then, and I had a point to prove. I was cut a few times from the NFL where I felt like I shouldn't have been. So I was like, that was my last straw. Either I make a name there or I'm going home and getting into the working world. So, I had to come in a little wild, a little chaotic, and it worked out for the best.
Yeah, well, we were used to.
I regret it though.
No, man, that was beautiful. Well, we knew that Brandon's cousin was coming to town, and you guys. So we're figuring someone that's quiet and reserved, someone like that. And then this guy with tattoos and everything comes with gold teeth and everything. Like, are you sure this guy's related to you? And you just came down and locked down our defense. And man, we one more year out there, we would have won.
Yeah, it would have been special. We always talk about that when we talk with all the older guys I played with. We always talk about if we'd have stayed together for a while, it would have been a little different, But you know how it goes. I got lucky and was in the dispersal draft and got out to BC, a winning organization, and all I had to do was just add my spin on it. So that mean it worked out for me, but not for everybody else.
Yeah, talk about that defensive secondary in BC, maybe the greatest of all time. You guys all had the physical attributes and the physical ability, but you guys knew what you were doing. You couldn't. You read each other's minds. You couldn't do anything out there as an offensive lineman. I'm taking.
Well, it was more of chemistry, right? And we had a lot of smart guys. We all knew the game, and we played off one another, and we always we created an environment around there where. You had to get in line no matter who you were, no matter what your name was. We don't care what you did last year, Hear me? I'm sorry.
Yep, we got you. Keep going.
It was all about what you're doing now, and we kept that winning tradition as long as I was there. And we had a couple guys that's waiting for their just due right now, and we just still patiently waiting. I know I'm waiting because I keep seeing my name pop up on this Hall of Fame thing, which now I can talk about it because my career is over with. Just patiently waiting one day. Hopefully, I may get an opportunity. We'll see, but
You think you guys can go in together? You and Dante to go in together? I mean, that'd be perfect, wouldn't it?
I mean that'd be ideal, right? But I retired a year before Dante, and it'll kind of be a slap in my face if somebody retired after me go with me. But I mean, I can't control that. All I can control is what happened. And
Korey, I got a question. I got a question for you. I don't know if you remember or not, but I was the guy that helped get your Grey Cup ring back to you. My brother found it in a pawn shop in Vegas. Paul McCallum hooked us up. I don't know if you remember that whole situation, and we got it back to you.
Do.
Yeah,
I absolutely do. I really appreciate that because I had shipped my vehicle home from Vancouver, and for some reason I forgot I left my rings in a box inside a book bag and put it under the seat, and someone stole everything out of my truck. And next you know, my ring was missing about a year and a half. I didn't know what to do, and then Paul McCallum calls me up and say, "Hey man, what's wrong?" I'm like, "What you mean? Do you need money?" I'm like, "No, your ring's out here in Vegas." I'm like, "What?" And I was like, my heart dropped. I'm like, what did I got to do to get it back? Because whoever shipped my vehicle, they stole it and pawned it in Vegas. I mean, I'm so glad. I really appreciate you for getting that back to me because, I mean, that's the only thing you really have other than your memories when you leave the game is your ring. So, and those are like my kids. I won't trade those in for nothing.
So here's my question for you. Bo Levi Mitchell of the Calgary Stampeders had 2 rings stolen out of his vehicle in downtown Calgary here last month, and they're gone. So what is your advice to anybody who has championship rings as to where to leave them or not leave them?
Well, my advice will be get you 2 duplicates and make it all Cuban zirconic, spend a couple $100 on them. Wear those out, leave the other ones at home in your case, and never bring the other ones out. That's the only advice you can get to be safe, or just add insurance on them. But still, I'd rather have the ring than the money. So just you have to probably get duplicates and Cuban zirconic where you don't have to pay as much, so you can walk around with them. But don't ever take your real ones out, because somebody's waiting on you to make a mistake so they can steal your joy, I guess, lack of a better term.
Exactly. Clark, pull that clip. There's the advice for any champion what to do with their rings. And Korey, when you think about your time in the CFL, because you were with 3 clubs, what are the first memories that come to mind?
Well, I'm not gonna claim Winnipeg. I was with 2 clubs because that was a joke. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be like that, but it was a joke. It really was. But Ottawa was a great time. Getting my feet wet. And BC was like I couldn't write a better script. I got around guys that, it was a perfect combination, connection, and everything worked out for the best. But only thing I kind of have negative to say about my time in BC is when I was at the height of my career, they moved me to linebacker. So I feel like I could have had 60 interceptions, but I got moved to linebacker and had to play that position and gain all this weight. But, other than that, it worked out. We won. Well, I've never won a championship at BC playing linebacker, but, I got a chance to get more stats, like hitting the quarterback, but that ain't what I do. I like to cover. But, other than that, man, it was a dream come true. I wouldn't write it no other way. I played with some great guys, some great teammates. I made some friendships for the rest of my life, and that's all I can really do is enjoy those old moments and look back at them. And every time I see the Grey Cup, I get this chill in my body, and it takes me back to those moments when I won. So, it was unbelievable.
I'm afraid I can't let you go without asking you what happened in Winnipeg. Why was that a joke? It's going to bother me now all night if I don't ask you.
Oh, I don't have no problem talking about it. I mean, I always kept it in, but I went to Winnipeg as this big signee. I get there, and they had this guy Etcheberry there, which I know him a little bit. For some reason, he was weird. I mean, like, he didn't want you asking him questions. Like, I came from a structured organization where if something's wrong, we supposed to have a counter or whatever to make the play right. But he didn't want you asking questions. He didn't have a playbook. You ask him a question, he walks away from you. And so they pulled this thing where I was having a great camp. I probably had like 11 or 12 interceptions. I think I gave up like 1 catch that whole camp. And next the first game start, without even telling me like a professional, they playing around. They got me all in the paper as being injured. I'm like, injured? I don't even know what to say because I'm not injured. But anyway, I don't know. To this day, I still don't know why they did it, but they made me a healthy scratch. So I looked at it as, well, if I'm a healthy scratch, I lied for them for a couple of days, and I got tired of lying for them because I'm like, if I'm my own agent. I mean, I'm a grown man. This is an organization. We supposed to have that communication where you can tell me. I would have accepted it if you were like, all right, we want you to sit out. We want to play a young guy. We want you to coach a little bit on the side. I would have did that perfectly fine if the communication would have been there. But they kept sneaking around. I talked to O'Shea. He just looking at me apologizing, but he wouldn't tell me what he apologizing for. I guess Etcheberry had the last say-so of everything, and that guy's a joke. And if anybody ever hired him, you don't know what you're doing. Don't ever hire that guy for any kind of defensive coordinator job. And I'm telling you this without any hate in my heart. I'm telling you from football expertise, do not hire a guy like that because he's a joke. He doesn't even have a playbook. How do you not have a playbook and it's supposed to be your craft, your art on paper? No way. Never seen it in my life.
Well, I think we got that straightened out. And lastly, Korey, how are things in your life? For your fans here in Canada, CFL fans, what's the update with you?
Everything's great. I'm enjoying my oldest son playing college football. My youngest boy playing travel baseball. My daughter's just very smart. Family time, and I'm just enjoying it, taking it day by day. It can get great if I ever get that call one day. I mean, I'm not trying to politic, but I have to because this is the first interview I think I've done since I left the CFL. We have a saying, out of sight, out of mind. So, at the end of the day, I mean, I'm enjoying life, man. I can't complain because if I did complain, who's going to listen? Nobody anyway. So I'm enjoying it anyway.
Korey, I got to write all these things down, man. This was a trip. I do have a little influence with the Hall of Fame committee, so I'm going to put a bug in their ear, maybe even show them the clip, because you do deserve it, and I appreciate the time, my man. Don't be a stranger.
Before we go, I have to say something. I have to put it on record so we can get this out the way. I don't know. I was hearing something about me. I was on a lawsuit, and that's what's stopping me, all these things. But at the end of the day, some people call me up, ask me would I stand with older players that had all these type of brain disease and all that. And of course I'll stand with older players. Next thing you know, the league is saying I'm suing the CFL. Like, what am I suing the CFL for? That it made no sense. It was a lot of hearsay. Nobody ever really asked me. I don't have any paperwork saying I'm on a lawsuit waiting for any kind of money. But all of a sudden, nobody would touch me. I want to do some guest coaching over there. They were like, well, you suing the league. We can't do this. I'm like, suing the league? When did I do that? But I just want to clear my name that I'm not suing the CFL. I'm not looking for any money from the CFL. Nothing in that arena at all. It was me standing with the players. Would I support the players that's standing that's older than they're like in their 50s and 60s? Will I stand with them? And I was like, of course I would. Anything for the players, and that's it. Next thing you know, I was on this do not the blacklist they do in Vegas. Do not let this guy around you or something. I mean, like, whoa. All this hard work I put in, and just, and to be like ostracized out of something that you love so much is kind of like, what can you do about it? But I just want to clear the air. Like, I didn't sue anybody. I'm not looking for any monetary consumptions from anybody.
So if you're on the no-fly list, the CFL no-fly list will take you off the no-fly list.
Absolutely. All this knowledge I have, and I can't even give it to people. So I give it to other people in other ways. So, whatever.
Gotcha. Well, Korey, thank you. That's what we do.
Rob.
We like to let players give them the opportunity to get stuff off their chest, and I feel like we did that here today.
It's off my chest 100%. I'm feel good about myself now. I appreciate you for giving me the opportunity to just voice my opinion.
All right. Thank you, Korey. Stay in touch and have a great day.
Absolutely. You do as well. Enjoy the show.
Korey Banks joining us from Atlanta, Georgia, and there you go. None of this surprises you, Abu. None of this surprises you.
Man, some people, I love that. I love that guy. That's my kind of dude. Some people don't like it. You ask him a question. Some people don't like hearing the answer. He's going to tell you. I hope I'm the same way. If you ask me a question, I'm going to tell you the answer whether you like it or not. It's very few people of those left around, I find.
Nope.
Great dude.
Your thoughts, Darren?
That was awesome. No, good to catch up with him. Mm-hmm. And it's the no-fly list thing's funny. The Winnipeg stuff is interesting too. I mean, my eyes are just jaws on the floor.
I got scared when you asked what happened to Winnipeg. If the camera wasn't on me, but I was like, no, because I knew that he was gonna tell you what happened.
Yeah. That's why I asked.
And it was, Etch runs this unconventional defense where everyone's a defensive lineman and everyone rushes the quarterback except for like 3 people. And Banks was saying he likes to cover. He doesn't want to rush. He doesn't want to do any of that stuff. So they paid him a whole bunch of money as the top DB that offseason to bring him in and put him in a system where he really couldn't use his skills.
You're watching Rod Pedersen On Demand. For more of The Rod Pedersen Show, visit rodpedersen.com or follow Rod Pedersen on social media.